All right, hello. It is 5 p.m. on Monday, August 25th, 2025. This is a regular board meeting for the Monroe School District. Present are myself, President Bumpus, we have Director Barnes, Director Edscorn, Director Whitfield, Superintendent Sean Woodward, District Leadership Team, School District staff, as well as members of the community. Director Campbell will not be in attendance with us this evening. Members of the public can log into the regular board meeting using the Zoom link attached to tonight's agenda that is found on the board docs website. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I should let you know that. Welcome to tonight's meeting. We're happy to have you join us. All comments during tonight's meeting are audio recorded and will be available online on our website. This is in addition to the written minutes. Please understand that while it may appear the board is moving quickly on important matters, there have been previous discussions on these issues either in earlier meetings or in board workshops, which are also open public meetings. Each director has had ample time to study the issues, ask appropriate questions, and obtain satisfactory answers from the superintendent, his staff, or through outside research. Those wishing to address the board during public comments must turn in a public comment form prior to the start of the meeting at 5 p.m. Any form submitted after the meeting has started will be held for the next meeting to address the board at that time. Okay, moving on to agenda item 2.05. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approve the agenda dated August 25th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve the agenda that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approved the agenda dated August 2025 with the modifications. And so I just want to clarify, we've removed the Brightly software agreement was removed. Attachments have been added to item 5.05, facility use fees, and the payroll report was added. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion has been approved 4-0. Okay, agenda item 3.01, consideration of donations. Director Edscorn.
All right. So we'd like to thank Costco in Woodinville. They donated $500 in Costco shoppers cards for the sole purpose of purchasing resources for the needs of the Monroe School District. Thank you very much. Bearcat Pride, Carrie Cox donated an LCD screen and mini PC with the value of $1,500 for the MHS Stadium concessions. Thank you. Oxbow Center for Sustainable Agriculture and the Environment has donated a monetary grant of $250 for the sole and express purpose of transportation to and from the field trip for the elementary summer school. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving on to agenda item 3.02, public comment. We welcome and value public comment on educational issues and recognize the importance of the opportunity for members of the public to express their thoughts to the school board. It is a policy of the Monroe School District to promote mutual respect, civility, and orderly conduct among district employees, parents, and the public. We kindly ask that you refrain from comments that violate the school district policy. Individuals are asked to limit comments to 3 minutes. A designated speaker for a group is asked to keep comments to 5 minutes. If you have a personnel concern, any staff member in the room can help with how to go forward with a complaint about personnel. The board does not respond to public comments during the business meeting. Please know that the board silence is neutral. It is neither a signal of agreement nor disagreement with the speaker's remarks. The president may interrupt or terminate an individual statement when it is personally directed, abusive, obscene, irrelevant, targets a protected class, or exceeds the time limit. As the board president, I will determine the appropriateness of all such rulings. When I call your name, please step up to the microphone. Blair or Brandy? Blair, sorry. Brandy, your name.
Good evening. Brandy
Okay.
Blair. I'm a parent of 4 kids in different schools at Monroe School District. I'm a Monroe resident downtown, and I graduated from Monroe. I wanted to bring to your guys' attention an increasing trend of violence outside of the school, where Monroe School District students are like tricking or asking other students to come and meet them at like a park or a vacant parking lot, and they're filming it and assaulting another child. I know of at least 5 people that this has happened to over the summer. It's mainly middle school and high school. There is a little bit of elementary, mainly Frank Wagner. The issue with that is, why is this a school board issue? Well, for one, this stuff does bleed over into the school. And so we have seen fights and attacks at the middle school and high school. And it makes kids not feel a sense of belonging and safety if they're now having to go back to school and they don't know if they're going to be safe or possibly be attacked again at school. Let's see, the other reason is because we teach anti-bullying, and so maybe it's not working. This is an escalation of violence rather than, these aren't words. These are people, children that are like coming up with plans to trick each other and hurt them. So let's see, it adds to a fear climate at the school, which is not productive for a learning environment. And it affects kids' attendance. So I know of a student right now who's supposed to be starting freshman year, and she's crying to her mom. She does not want to go to school because of something that's happened over the summer with one of these assaults. So what I'm asking the school board to do is review the anti-bullying curriculum. Is this working? Is there a better evidence-based model that we could start? A kindness culture. There's something called kindness community where the city and the school district would partner together to make Monroe a kindness community. Something, just take a look at it, I'm asking. Review the school policy on violence at school and the adults' role in protecting students from assault. Currently, the belief is that adults will not break up a fight or an assault. This causes children to be scared to go to school, afraid that they could be attacked, and no one would be there to protect them. The third thing, I'm asking that you reach out to the students with a student advisory board, engage with active members of the school, the children at the schools, find a solution that they think will work. Violence is not allowed. We need to ensure that our school environment is safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandy. Okay, Connie and Craig. Hey, Connie and Craig, your name and your relationship to the school district.
My name is Connie Goss. I'm on the board of the Monroe Arts Council, and we lease the Wagner Memorial Auditorium, AKA Wagner Performing Arts Center, from you all. And we're here to say a few words about an agenda item that comes a little further on later this evening. And Craig?
Sure. My name is Craig Burkett. I'm also a board member of the Monroe Arts Council.
So we'd like to start by just quickly recapping and formally announcing to you, because I think we've been remiss and may not have done that to you as a board. But 1 year ago, we invited our representatives, Mike Steele and Keith Gaynor, to come and tour the auditorium after the parade. And that set a series of things into motion. We applied for state capital funding in January, and we were successful. And we have been awarded a net award of $429,710 for a large portion of the renovation to the Performing Arts Center. That award will cover items like rough-in plumbing, rough-in HVAC, electrical, and a custom stairway that will allow our technicians safe access to the balcony area for access to lighting equipment, and a little bit of finish work in the lobby as well. So needless to say, this is a huge step forward for us, and we have other funding in the works right now. But that in a nutshell is it. So I think Craig would like to say a few things as well.
I just want to be able to express on behalf of the Monroe Arts Council and all of the thousands of people that go through that facility on an annual basis, express our appreciation to the board, to the district, especially the facilities, as well as to the state in being able to make this happen, okay? All of you have really worked to an extraordinary extent to help us on this. It's just greatly appreciated. It really is. Thank you.
Thanks, Craig and Connie. Okay, agenda item 4.01, back to school resource fair recap. We have Director of Communications, Erin Zacarda, and Communications Manager, Tamara Karache. Karache.
Good evening. As a part of our community engagement efforts, Tamara and I have had the honor of coordinating our annual resource fair for the past 4 years. This is a huge event each August, and each year it gets bigger and better and more impactful. And this year was no exception, and we're really excited to share with you some of the highlights from this year's event, which was held just last Wednesday. Next slide. For those of you who may be unfamiliar with the resource fair, this is an event designed to help get our students and families set up to start a successful school year. And it's especially for those that may be experiencing hard times or need additional support navigating our district's systems. We also invite many of our community partners in to share local support resources with families and provide free resources to our students to help them get ready to start school. When this event originally began years ago, it was first called Fill a Form Night, and it was just designed to help families get help filling out all of their annual required forms. While the event is much more than that now, that's still a really important piece. A lot of our systems are difficult for families to navigate, such as family access and filling out free and reduced lunch applications, especially our families who English is not their first language. So we still do this event to provide support with those things, and we have staff on hand to help people with those in person with the help of a lot of interpreters. Next slide, please. Here's a quick snapshot of some of the stats from this year's event. During the 2-hour event, we had 787 total attendees. 516 of those were students. We had 25 community partners hosting booths, which was the highest number we've had ever. We had 34 staff volunteers helping make it all happen, and we had 13 interpreters, 12 of which were Spanish speaking and 1 was Russian, and every single one of them was busy every minute of the event. In addition to supporting families with district processes, we work with donors and community partners to provide free resources to support our students and families. Some of the free resources that we gave out this year included 505 backpacks, 287 were for elementary and 218 were for secondary. 200 of these backpacks were donated from the Woodinville Costco. 100 were donated by Liberty Road, and those came pre-filled with school supplies. Last year, Cascade Church donated $500 to be used to purchase backpacks, and Everest, which is a backpack manufacturer, donated 30 backpacks. And then we had a bunch left over from donors from the previous year as well. And we have a lot left over to give to students throughout the year who may be new students or need a new backpack throughout the year. And each year after we source all the backpack donations, we partner with Big Heart Big Smile Foundation, and they purchase school supplies, and they send a team in here to the district office, and they stuff all the backpacks full of school supplies so that kids are handed a backpack that's full of school supplies to start off the school year. And then they volunteer to hand out the backpacks at the event, and that's them pictured in the top right there. That's not their whole team, that was just the team that was there at the event. This year, they donated $4,800 in school supplies to stuff in backpacks, which was huge. And there was a lot left over that they gave to us to also give to students throughout the year who may need them. There are many reasons our families love this event, but the backpacks are the biggest draw. People get really excited. Well, our students get really excited to come get a brand new backpack. They get to pick it out themselves. There's tons of patterns and colors. People start lining up at 2:30 and the event starts at 4 o'clock. They're so excited. They're wrapped around Park Place. They're so excited. And as soon as the kids pick out a backpack, they have it on, as you can see in the bottom 2 pictures. They wear it through the whole event. And those of you that kids know that the first day of school, everybody loves to put on their new backpack and get their photo taken. So it's a big draw for our kids to come get new backpacks. Every year, Snohomish Regional Fire and Rescue also comes, and they fit every kid with a helmet. You can see that in the bottom right picture. They put I don't know what that is, but some kind of protective thing on their head and then fit the helmet to their heads and show them how to properly wear it, which is awesome. Oxbow Farms was there. They gave out 200 fresh vegetables. Community Transit was there giving out free youth transit cards. New this year, we had David partners with the Snohomish Health District, and they offered an immunization clinic, which they were really excited that we had 11 students get immunized at the event, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but they had been at the Sultan Resource Fair the weekend before and they'd gotten 0. So 11 they were really excited about. And that's 11 more kids who are immunized and ready to start school on the first day. We also had community partners giving out socks, hygiene kits, eyeglass repair kits, and all kinds of stuff. Cassandra Bunny in HR, her brother had donated reusable grocery bags. So we had a ton of those to give to families when they walked in the door so that they could walk around and fill their grocery bags full of all the free resources that our community partners provided. This is the full list of all of our community partners that were there. A lot of great partners who do wonderful things for our entire community. I wanted to call out that the Monroe Public Schools Foundation was there with their Cattails program, giving out free books. Kids got free haircut vouchers from Cuts for Kids. There's a whole variety of stuff. And last but not least, we could not do this without the help of our wonderful staff volunteers. Like I said, we had 34 staff volunteers. Nearly all of our entire admin team, from principals to district office leaders, even Superintendent Woodward and Director Barnes were there helping. It just wouldn't be possible without the help of all our staff. We also had some key district office support staff there helping families with all sorts of things. And many of these staff members were bilingual, which was awesome. So they could also help families who didn't have English as their first language. And I want to give a special shout out to our facilities department. They bent over backwards to help us. They were absolutely fabulous in getting everything set up. A lot of their team was there throughout the whole event, helping families. And they were just wonderful and great to make this happen. So that was all I have.
Thank you so much, Erin. That's so awesome. Yeah, just so awesome. Tamara, thank you too. We're friends outside of this, you guys, it's fine. Okay, agenda item 4.02, summer school. We have interim director of career and technical education, Darby.
Can you hear me now? Okay, good evening. So at the last board meeting, I believe it was Director Etzkorn asked for a little recap on how things went with summer school. In addition to my duties as Director of Career and Technical Education, I was also a summer school administrator this year. So it fell to me to kind of give you guys a recap. We had our secondary summer school from July 7th to August 7th at Frank Wagner Elementary. Initially, we started it at dividing between Park Place and Frank Wagner with the elementary and the middle school or the secondary, and we just decided to combine resources. It allowed the kids to get more access to the community lunch program. So it ended up being a really good experience for the secondary kids. The numbers here, I will draw your attention. We had 46 students that chose the online option, which meant that they were remote, completely remote. And then we did have 23 of our secondary kids that were in person, and they come 4 days a week and do their work in the classroom. Why they did it, a lot of kids were doing credit retrieval. So we had 26 students that signed up to retrieve credits, half a credit, 1 credit, and so on. And then there were a number of kids that chose to do acceleration. We know with the coming 6-period transition at the high school, there's a lot of students that want to make sure they have room for those electives like band and so forth. So we did have quite a few students that chose to do both or acceleration. And in total, we had 51.5 credits earned, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but a half a credit is a half a year. So that's significant. And for those students that attended in person, everyone earned at least half a credit. So we didn't have anybody that signed up that didn't get something out of it. And many of them started, as it says up there, started out doing credit retrieval even chose to stay on to do another class once they finished something. So in general, it was a positive experience for the students that were in person. We did have staff involved, obviously. We had one certificated teacher, one counselor, and then myself, administrator, and I was split between the secondary summer school and the 4th grade reading program. So I was kind of bouncing back between all those students. So what did we learn? Because it's school, we always learn something. But this was the first time we'd done secondary summer school for a while. We hadn't had as much of a need, and with the pandemic, there'd been some different iterations. So we were using an online provider, Admentum, and we had some things that we learned. For one thing, we discovered that a year of math is hard to do in 5 weeks, even if you're working on it 4 hours a day. But there were other classes that were a lot easier. So kids could do health. They could accelerate in some of those kinds of things more easily. So that brings some other conversations that we should have about math in summer moving forward. Starting on July 7th, and it was just how the calendar went, it meant we stretched into August, and that may have caused some families to not choose the option. So we're not certain of that, but we did notice that the number had declined throughout the time. And then there were some families that did not really like the online nature of the program. But because we had so many different options, like we wanted to offer as many different kinds of credits as possible, we needed that support because we didn't have a teacher that was, that many different teachers, I guess, the budget for that. So that's basically the basis behind that. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
So this is very exciting.
Yeah.
So how did the students who chose acceleration, how did they learn about it in advance?
There were, and this is before I kind of came into it, but there were some, I think it was Parent Square kind of messages that went out. There wasn't as much coordination with the high school and the counseling as we definitely see some room for growth there to let kids know that it's available and that they have that option.
Have we already decided what the classes for next summer are?
No, we definitely want to look at we did do some preliminary interviewing of the counselors to see where kids were falling behind, if we needed, where they needed the support. And we just offered as many things as we could because of the online part, we could do that.
Yeah, I was just thinking, since we have moved to the 6th period day,
Mhm.
if a student wanted to make the decision to take an elective, during the school, it's like, oh, I could take the main course during summer. If they knew that in advance, it could help them with those decisions.
Absolutely. And we're seeing this, I think this year is kind of a trial run of what is going to come, and we'll just keep building on what those options are.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to see if this is taken advantage of more next year.
I anticipate it would be, just based on what we saw.
Wonderful. And then you mentioned the students who attended in person, at least everyone received half a credit.
Mhm.
So then the online students, how many of them succeeded?
It was very close to that
Okay.
too. Yeah, there wasn't. And because we had Jen Garcia was our counselor, and she was actively engaged with all of the students, whether they were in person or remotely. And we did adjust schedules because we had the opportunity to do that. Some kids signed up for 3 classes, 3 credit, which is a really, really large amount. And so she kind of balanced a lot of that stuff out. And so I give a lot of credit to her and what she kind of knew about them and the system and all of that stuff.
Excellent. Well, this is great. Thank you very much for the update. And yes, whatever we can do to notify students ahead of time to ease the burden of going to 6 period days about the summer school option, I think it'd be greatly
Absolutely.
beneficial.
As an elective person, I love that idea.
Thank you.
I had a question. So you talked about this, the results for high school. Was this done on elementary level? Also summer school or for middle school?
There wasn't a middle school program. We did have 2 different summer school programs that were targeting elementary kids. One was all district 4th graders, which is the Rising Fourth Grade Reading Program. And then there was one that was strictly for Frank Wagner's second graders. So,
Okay.
and there were about 45 kids in the fourth grade program that I was most connected with.
Oh, good. With this online and in person was back when we had COVID, it was either all online, not in person. So was just trying to visualize this. Was the student online learning alongside the ones that were in person, or were they two separate programs or two separate teachers?
It was the same provider, Edmentum, but they had two separate basically dashboards. They were learning essentially the same stuff, but the in-person was our teacher was in charge of the assessments and doing that kind of thing. And then of the online one, their teachers, the Edmentum teachers were in charge. So there were a little some issues with some communication some feedback we got kind of anecdotally from parents. And so that's something that we want to look at. They did have expertise in the area, but they weren't not necessarily as easily accessible.
Okay. Well, as you know, the priority of the board is to get kids at the grade level so they can succeed to the next level of education. So your work is appreciated, and we'd like to have this expanded in the future, other opportunities available to kids. So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, agenda item 4.03. We have the second budget extension hearing for 24-25. And our presenter is Monroe School District Chief Financial Officer, Brenda Hunt. Welcome to the Monroe School District Board of Directors' second public hearing for the 24-25 budget extension hearing. The purpose of this hearing is to provide an opportunity for you, the Monroe community, to share your input on the budget extension for the 24-25 school year. Chief Financial Officer Brenda Hunt will present the budget extension hearing this evening. Board directors will then have time to ask questions about the budget extension, and then community members will be invited to share their input through public comment. After this evening's public hearing, the board will consider the adoption of the 24-25 budget extension resolution seen on tonight's agenda as business item 4.03. To help guide the proceedings of this budget extension hearing, we ask that all speakers complete one of the public comment forms, which are available on the back table. Please fill out the form and bring it forward to the board. Speakers will be called upon in the order the forms are received. Each speaker will be permitted to speak for up to 5 minutes. Each speaker's public comment should be focused on the budget extension. If speakers get off topic, the board president will remind them to refocus their comments on the budget extension. Speakers desiring more time to present their input to the board are encouraged to submit written statements. Any information sent to the superintendent or an individual board member will be copied and shared with all board members. Speakers should not be overly repetitive, particularly if a prior speaker has already addressed a subject at great length. Speakers should not make any derogatory or inflammatory comments toward any individual. And it is important to the board that all community members have an equal opportunity to be heard and they are not intimidated by others with differing views. All comments are important this evening and should be listened to with respect. Again, thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you. This evening is our second budget extension hearing for this year, 24-25's budget. And most of this you've already seen, so we are going to go through it relatively quickly. This page is just ensuring that everybody knows what we're doing and why as far as the budget extension. The important part on the budget extension is that we are requesting an increase of $1 million. And that's item number 3. And that's what the resolution is asking for 24-25. What has changed since the last time we were here? This slide represents the general fund revenues. I've divided it into our original budget for 24-25 in the first column, the revision that was done on 6/9/25, and the revision for tonight, 8/25. And as you can see, there is no change between the budget revision for 6/9 and 8/25. There has no additional revenue. Between the two budget extensions, we have increased our revenue approximately $1.3 million. Next slide is our expenditures. And this is where we see a change. The original column is our 24-25 budget. And 6/9 is our first revision, and 8/25 is the revision we're asking for this evening. And the changes, there's 700,000 added to the second row, which is special education. And there's 300,000 added to the support services, which is our, the extension is in program 97 or in maintenance. And so between the two budget extensions, it's an increase of $1.878 million. And that's a 1.7% increase over the original budget. Next slide is the impact on fund balance. Again, the first column, I have a consistent 24-23, 24-25 original budget. The second column is our first budget revision, and the third column is our budget revision after this one is approved this evening. And you can see that that takes our ending fund balance down to a projected $8.46 million, or 7.7% of our revenue. Any questions on any of this?
And do you happen, what's the number that we're required to have by policy in the fund balance again?
5% plus 1,115,000, which is roughly 6.01%.
Okay, so we still have some headroom.
Yes, sir. Any questions? That's all I have. Questions?
Okay, are there any public comments regarding the 24-25 second budget extension hearing? Going once. Going twice. Are there any public comments regarding the 24-25 second budget extension hearing? And louder for the people in the back. Are there any public comments? I have to do this 3 times. Are there any public comments regarding the 24-25 second budget extension hearing? Okay. Budget hearing is closed. Thank you so much, Brenda. It's the only time. I don't like the gavel. Don't like the gavel. It's not for me. Okay, agenda item 5.02, budget adoption, fiscal year budget 25-26. Is there a motion?
I move that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approve the budget extension resolution number 4, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approve resolution number 3 for the adoption of the 25-26 fiscal year budget. All in favor, raise your hand. The agenda item has passed 4-0. Agenda item 5.03, policy 4210. And we have Kelly Pitts here if we have questions. Oh, did I just completely skip it? Sorry, Kelly. Oh, I made the motion for 5.02. Okay. All right, agenda item 5.02. I thought that's the one I just did. Okay. I ended up doing 5.02, so I'm going to do
Yeah.
5.01 because I read 5.02.
Yeah.
Okay, agenda item 5.01, budget extension resolution number 4-2025. Is there a motion?
I move that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approve the budget extension resolution number 4-2025.
I heard that.
Uh-huh.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approve the budget extension resolution number 4-2025. All in favor, raise your hand. That agenda item has passed 4-0. Kelly, come on up. Agenda item 5.03, policy 4210, and this is our first reading of this policy. It's added language to cover how we have been dealing with these issues when they arise related to personal protection sprays.
Yes.
Okay.
Trying to match practice with the actual policy what it is, not to take away the student's ability to have personal protection as it suggests, or parents to give them that option, but while they're on school grounds to limit it or to be able to be in control of it at that time and then relinquish it when they go to leave the school.
Does that even apply to after-school events or any time on school property, go to a football game, or that's how it's currently written?
Yes, it would apply in those instances also.
Are we gonna have a building administrator available at like Friday night for the football?
We would
game?
have, there's an administrator at each of the sporting events, and football game would be either athletic director or one of the administrators assigned in that.
So just to clarify, this is not considered a dangerous weapon. It's under that
No,
classification.
where it specifically comes in is really like pepper spray or bear spray or something like that. If I would hate to think that a student needed to carry that in the middle of the hallways, that they felt so uncomfortable in walking through the hallways at our schools that they felt the need to have that. But I wouldn't want to take that away from somebody who like spoke to their parent and said, hey, they have the right to do that going to school, coming from school, going back home, which is what happened last year. And with a particular student, and we said, yeah, we can do that. But just while you're on our campus, we're going to check it in, check it back out.
Is there any thought of doing this for only during the school day? Because I don't see how can we enforce
It
it.
would be, yeah, I'm not suggesting that we start searching bags or anything like that. How would we know? I don't know. It's not, it would be voluntary from that standpoint, I guess. We can rewrite it so that it's specific to during the school time periods.
I'm just thinking through this, a parent agrees, they sign the permission slip, and their child, 17, let's say 17 years old, carrying, mace, and they're going to a football game at night, or they're going to a school play at night, or
Right.
I don't know. Seems like that's the reason, or that'd be the place where you want to have it, walking to and from your car when it's dark.
Yeah, that's not where it was happening. It was regular
hear you.
school days where it was happening. I could relook at it to incorporate something like that. But I'd have to look at the verbiage in it.
What do other board members think?
Like to specify if it's during school hours.
Yeah, because right now, as it reads, it's devices are brought on school property. They will be checked into the building administrator and released back at the end of the day when the student is heading off property. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I imagine it's just like when I go to Snohomish County Courthouse, for example, I had a pepper spray on my keychain.
Right.
I had to go back and throw it away in order to enter the building. So at least we have an option where they can turn it into a school or building administrator.
With the way it's worded there, then yeah, but then that's the expectation that we would be searching bags and things like that too, which we don't do. We're not at that NFL clear bag level,
Cool.
kind of thing. So If it ever got to that, that's kind of where we would end up back to something like this.
Do we have, thinking out loud, just curious, do we have rules around that with any other like alcohol or anything that doesn't belong on school grounds? Like, are there rules around that when there are events?
Mhm.
On
It
school
is
grounds?
posted out on the
Oh.
fence lines.
So I'm curious. Okay, so maybe, I don't know, you do the same thing. Or just make it clear that,
I'll just
Well, I
take
don't
take the most extreme, take firearms. I mean, other than it's well publicized, it's a firearms free zone.
Yeah.
There's not a bag search there.
yeah,
So could it happen? I suppose it could. And somebody could show up with something like that in a bag, like a spray or something else in a personal device.
yeah, I don't know if you can
I
say
don't know
like,
how far we want to, we're not going to have metal detectors and bag searches there. So at some point, like I said, it starts to become a voluntary, hey, I went through security, I noted I had it, I turned it over, or we weren't aware of it.
okay. Thankfully, first reading.
Did you say there was an event of one being used at the school?
Not used, but carried, yeah.
Oh, carried, okay.
Yeah, and that's where I would like it not to have to go off in the middle of a hallway and evacuate a building because of it.
Any other questions for Kelly? Okay. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Okay.
Okay, agenda item 5.04, school resource officer services, interlocal agreement for the 25-26 school year. Is there a motion?
I move that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approve the 2025-2026 school resource officer agreement.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approve the 25-26 school resource officer agreement. All in favor? Raise your hand. The agenda item is passed 4-0. Agenda item 5.05, facility use fees for the 25-26 school year. Is there a motion?
I move that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approves the 2025-2026 facility use fees.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approves the 25-26 facility use fees. Discussion.
Is this, Adam, were these used, we had been in discussion about this at previous meetings to get them in line with other, and had there was proposed or what we were looking at, are these what the final numbers were that were recommended that the board discussed?
Yeah, so what happened last year was the district, the 2B, those users, you decided to use the civic rates to help them out a little bit. Is that what you were thinking about last year?
Well, all I know is ours were way too high and that we made some adjustments to get them in line with other school districts.
So we did do that a year ago, and then this is just our yearly update. We're required to bring it to the board every year.
Okay.
And maybe would you like Adam to go over some of the proposed adjustments?
That's not necessary.
Okay.
So one of the things that I thought we had discussed last year was the potential of looking at, okay, how much does this really bring in when we're talking about our in-district youth sports programs that are using our facilities? Is this something that we can bring down to a 0 level for them? So then that way it then in turn makes it a little more accessible for all the different kids within the community, because they're already paying taxes to use these fields and these are our students. So I was kind of hoping to see on here a 0 number or have some other information.
Yeah, I can get you, I guess what, you want to know how much we bring in every year in revenue or?
Yeah, just
Okay.
for our in-district youth sports, so Boys and Girls Club, YMCA, if they're using it, any of our select Bearcat teams that use our facilities. Because last year it was 7, and then it's hard for me to, what are we proposing this year, 10?
I didn't make a proposal this year.
Okay.
The average is kind of what I was proposing. And then again, if you look at the 2B indoor rates, that you'll be able to see that's what the averages are. That's what other districts are charging. And then last year we went with that civic rate because it's lower.
Right, yeah. But I thought, so just looking at how much that actually brings in, and is this something that we can offer for free for those youth sports in our community? I would really love to look at that.
We can get a cost specifically for that. And then for the next meeting. And then obviously as a board, you'll have to determine, let's just say it's 50 grand, then determine if you want to adjust our spending to accommodate that decrease in revenue.
And for all of these, do we need to have a staff or custodian on hand, or is it only for the ones where they need access to the gymnasium or when they need to open a building?
So if it's a weeknight, we don't charge them custodial fees unless they have something above and beyond, like a really big event or something like that, where we have to pull our staff away from their regular cleaning. Weekends, we do charge them for our custodians because they're on overtime. We did hire a custodian just to work weekends, and we charge them that lower rate because they're not on overtime. And the other advantage of them is they can work all of the sites, not just a specific site. So they can float around, which also saves them a lot of money.
Okay, so these rates don't include the custodial.
Right, this is just usage, yeah, wear and tear.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add, I think that's great that there's a weekend custodian, because I know that becomes then a shared expense between all of the groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
There's a motion on the table. Okay, all in favor that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approves the 25-26 facility use fees? Raise your hand. Never had a tie. I've
Well-
never been with a tie. So it doesn't. Yeah, okay.
And what we could do, again, at our next meeting, we'll just bring back those numbers and we can have another discussion. Yeah.
Okay. So the motion has failed. Okay, it doesn't pass. Learn something new in Monroe School District. Okay, thank you, Adam. Okay, the agenda item 5.06, policy 3420, anaphylaxis prevention and response, and this is the second reading. Is there a motion?
I move that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approves the revisions made to policy 3420, anaphylaxis prevention and response.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approves the revisions made to policy 3420, anaphylaxis prevention and response. Discussion. All in favor, raise your hand. The agenda item has passed 4-0. Agenda item 6.10, approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
I move that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approve all items as listed and presented in the consent agenda dated August 25th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second that the Monroe School District Board of Directors approve all items as listed and presented in the consent agenda dated August 25th, 2025. All in favor, raise your hand. The agenda item has passed 4-0. Agenda item 7.01, superintendent update.
Okay, so Adam, I'm going to put you on the spot. Sorry, could you come up here? So I just want to thank Adam and the facilities department. Erin mentioned it during her presentation. They have really done wonders, really just changing the perceptions about how we serve our community as a school district, in particular our facilities. So every ask that I've made with our facilities department, and I hear this from others as well, they're just like, how can we help? And that's just kind of the mantra. And I just so much appreciate that. One example of this that I want Adam to share a little bit about is gym scheduling is one of the most controversial things school districts do, crazy enough, not math scores, believe it or not. It's scheduling gym time. And I think we've made great progress, Adam. Could you share what you did this year different than in years past? Because you'll do a better job than I can.
Well, yeah, we've been doing it for a while now. So we just built a schedule rather than it used to be first come, first serve, and whoever put in their time, it could have been years ago, they would get that first, and then the next person would just be stuck with what was left, and one person would get everything and nobody else would really get anything. And so we just built it. We know what they need, we know what they want, and we just built it, and we got them all together and sat them down and we're like, well, what do you think of this? And they did have a change. It was a very simple, reasonable change, but they loved it as far as I know.
Yeah, no, I've gotten
So,
good feedback. That's
yeah,
why.
so it was just so much easier for all of us. It's made, I think, everybody's life easier, and hopefully it'll work out as the schools start to put in their requests. That's where it gets complicated, is where we have to start canceling and bumping and moving. But for the most part, we're looking really good.
Yeah, and I thank you, Adam. Sorry to put you on the spot. So he's kind of demystified the whole process. He and his team has a great team. Basically said, instead of asking if the facilities team can make a change, they have each other in a room and say, would you trade this time and gym with me? And they're just figuring it out around the table versus our facilities team having to say yes and no. And it, from someone who was in that, I wasn't in the meeting, but I was told by someone who was, it went very well. So thank you for making those adjustments. And then I'm just, Aaron, you thanked everybody else. So I want to thank you and Tamara for pulling off the resource fair. It is quite a feat. I can't take any credit other than just saying, thank you for taking care of all of this. And we had an unexpected resignation, our community connections coordinator position, right at the last moment. So these two had to really take everything and run with it. If you just go and walk around like I do and try to help, I was, when I get there, the line's already just like around the building, and there are people that are raring to get in, and there's lots of smiling kids and a lot of parents that cannot wait to get their kids back to school. I know how that felt as a parent of young kids a long time ago. And the logistics to pull that off are unbelievable. I know this to be true. So all those numbers that you saw up there, there's a lot of stress to pull this off because the need is real in our community, and you can see it when you just look at all the people that attend. So wonderful support to our community. So thanks, well done. That was awesome. We had our staff kickoff this morning. They loved our soft new shirts, by the way. That was fun to get those passed out. Really nice. One of my favorite days of the year is to, excuse me, is to welcome our staff back. And it was just a great morning and a great day. So this marks the all of our PD for the week, our school improvement work, and just getting everything ready for the kids for next week. So we start just next Wednesday, which blows my mind. Between now and then, still a lot to do. Andra Murray's in here, I believe. Andra is responsible, along with Jennifer Murphy. We host an optional professional improvement day for staff at the high school on Friday, if you want to come check that out. There are, I don't know, how many, I thought there's over 40 offerings. Yeah, there's 40 to 50 to 60, I lost count of things that staff can choose to go to. So we have all of these wonderful experts from within our district who have signed up to provide professional development based on survey feedback. What do people want? That's what we're providing on Friday. So that's going to be huge to pull that off on Friday. Really excited about that. And then Wednesday, we had talked about day one, maybe going around, some of us did, to some of the schools together. So I sent you an invite 9:30 to 11:30 on Wednesday. And so if, look at your calendars, if you can come, let Holly know. And then, of course, if we have 3 or more, we'll get that posted next Wednesday. Yep, first day of school. Yeah, and we'll start at Frank Wagner, and then we'll figure out where else we want to go between those hours. If you want to stay longer than 11:30, that's okay too, because I'll most of the day just be going to schools on that first day. So thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Okay, agenda item 8.01, board reports and or comments. Anybody?
Who went to the parade? Wasn't that a blast? You know, being around Monroe for a long time, and my wife and I had a chance to be a judge for the parade. And we just so thoroughly enjoyed it, and the sense of community that the parade represented. We had elected officials from the state, county, city. We had county executive. We had all types of businesses. We had some awesome students, like the band, the MHH band. They did a great job. The cheer team, football, gymnastics, school bus, and they also had one that always gets me, the BFS Auxiliary Fallen Hero banners, where they have individuals that have passed away. That's always so, you know, it says this guy from Snohomish or Sultan and Monroe. That's always sad, but it's important to remember. And I know that the Monroe School District participated in getting the whole thing going, getting it moved along, getting it organized. I think there were over 80 floats or participants. So just really fun to go to, really shows the spirit. And just kind of a snapshot of Monroe, and just to kick off the fair. Anyway, so it was a very nice event. And thanks to all the staff of Monroe that helped make this a success.
Yeah, that was a really fun event to volunteer at and to witness firsthand. It's one of my favorite ones to do during the summer. So I love it. We have such amazing staff that come and help out and just make it all run and make it all work. So it's truly an honor and a joy to be one of those that helps do that. The other thing, resource fair, it was so much fun to see familiar faces, new faces, get a look at how everything goes, and to see all of the kids who are so excited. Truly, thank you both for all the hard work that you do, Aaron and Tamara. We couldn't do so much without you. And then, of course, we got to go to the fair on opening day and see our FFA students at work, which was fabulous. I got to see Kyla and her boar goat star, and she got best in showmanship for the novice. There's a whole slew of students who placed and who did things. I'm still waiting on that so that I can properly acknowledge every single one of them, but I also got to talk with Adie and her goat Handsome that she was showing. And then Erin was just a sweetheart, and she showed us around and all of the chickens and turkeys that she had. And then you had the Venables boys, and they had their turkeys that they were showing, and they were more than happy to talk to us about that. And then Haley, who graduated a few years ago and is still there at the farm, she's on the farm, but she's representing with her cows there. And she was more than happy to just talk with us about what she's been up to since graduation and show us her 2 cows that she brought, and then the 2 calves that were there as well. And she tried to get Brett Willie and Superintendent Woodward to go hug her cow Ella. Well,
No, she said, I want a picture of you sitting on the cow.
sitting on the cow.
And I said I was sort of scared, and she told me they didn't have top teeth. And I was like, why are you telling me that? That makes me more scared. So anyways, that's.
Yeah, but so they chickened out, and I said, sure, why not? So I went over and I
laid on this cow as she licked licked my leg with a rough tongue. It was a once in a lifetime experience and she was very soft and warm. So just a thank you to Haley for always being kind and being willing to show her animals and help us do, fun things that are out of the ordinary and unexpected. But yeah, just a huge congratulations to every single one of our students who participated. Oh, and Eurydia with her beautiful floral arrangements, corsages, and then dried flowers that she did. Those were just wonderful to see. And the kickoff this morning was absolutely fabulous. The excitement in the room is palpable. Everyone is so excited to be back. Everyone's bringing fresh energy. We had an amazing speaker this morning. The breakfast was incredible. And it's just fabulous to start the year off this way, recognizing those who've been in the district so long, but also those who are new and who are coming in. So a fabulous thing to be a part of and to witness. I'm very excited for all of the things to come, and I feel like this school year is really getting off to a good start. So just a huge thank you to everyone, and I hope everybody enjoys the last few days of summer before school starts.
Everything Molly said. And also, thanks, Adam. It's been so fun to hear you on a mic lately. We've just seen so much of you. Got to see you again this morning. You're getting comfortable there. I like it. Chartwell's, the breakfast, amazing. And we got to meet our new representative. That was awesome. And then I just wanted to say, Sean, you did an amazing job sharing your story at that kickoff this morning. It made me think of all of the teachers that have continued to have such an impact on my own children in the school district. I saw Miss BP today who had all three of my children for kindergarten and gave her a big old hug. And then I'm standing next to Michael's PE teacher from freshman year. And I thought, I owe this guy like the biggest Starbucks card because he was amazing with my son this past year. So I just thank you for sharing that. Such a good reminder that teachers are just doing such incredible work. And I'm really excited to give my kids back to them next week. Just so excited for my kids, so excited for the teachers. Thank you so much. It is 6:01 p.m. and tonight's meeting is adjourned.